Hello everyone, welcome back to NK Tips and welcome back to our weekly health tips series. Today we are discussing menstrual health and menstrual hygiene in general. Yes, I know, as I mentioned, a guy said it's a lady's topic, so he would not listen. But it is important to you as well because I assume most of us have female friends and some of us have sisters. So it is important to you to also understand the menstrual cycle and know what it entails so that you can help a woman that will be in trouble. Alright, so the menstrual health simply refers to the proper functioning of a woman's menstrual cycle. Alright, we know a menstrual cycle is a natural process that is controlled by hormones. Okay, so hormones including follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, progesterone, and then estrogen. Alright, so a proper balance of these hormones ensures that a woman will experience a normal menstrual cycle, which typically spans between 21 days and 35 days. Okay, so menstrual health also includes the physical, emotional, and social well-being that allows a woman to properly manage her period safely with dignity. All right, so let's look at the menstrual cycle and how it looks like. So the menstrual cycle is divided into four main phases. The first phase is the menstrual phase where there's an actual blood flow. The second phase is the follicular phase. The third phase is the ovulation phase. And the last phase is the luteal phase. So the first phase, as I said, is the phase where you see blood flow, and it typically lasts between 3 to 7 days. And what results in the blood flow is the shedding of the uterine lining, which is the endometrium, which had been taken for a possible pregnancy in the previous cycle. Okay, so once there's no pregnancy, the endometrium is shed, and that is the blood that we see in the flow. All right, so during this period a woman may experience cramps, fatigue, mood changes due to hormonal changes. Okay, and women lose a lot of blood, and especially they lose iron right through the blood, so it's important that during this time a woman will take nutritious meals in order to replenish the blood and the ions that they lose. Okay, the second phase is the follicular phase, and in this stage the brain produces a hormone called the follicular stimulating hormone or follicle stimulating hormone. Yeah, and what this hormone does is that it stimulates your follicles, your ovaries, to produce several follicles, and each follicle contains an immature egg. So during this process only one of these follicles will have its eggs fully maturing. Okay, yeah, so during the follicular phase the woman will typically experience symptoms like feeling more energetic, focused, emotionally balanced during this follicular phase. All right, so the next phase is the ovulation phase. So this is the phase where there's a sudden surge in another hormone called the luteinizing hormone, and this luteinizing hormone triggers the release of the matured egg from the ovary. All right, this process is called ovulation. Okay, so the egg travels from the ovaries to the fallopian tube where a possible fertilization will take place. All right, the fertilization is where there's a fusion of the spermatozoa with the egg. All right, so the egg will travel from your ovaries to the fallopian tube. All right, during this stage the woman may notice a stretchy clear cervical mucus. Some may notice mild raise in temperature. Some may notice light cramps. All right, and at this stage also some experience, if not all, a woman may experience high libido, and this is your body telling you that you are in your fertile phase. So if you want to get pregnant, that is the time that you need to be sexually active. Okay, so that is the ovulation phase. The next phase is the luteal phase. So after ovulation the empty follicle transforms into a structure called the corpus luteum. So once the corpus luteum is formed, it produces another hormone called progesterone, and this progesterone is needed to maintain the second endometrium, all right, in preparation for a possible implantation of a fertilized egg. All right, so that's if a pregnancy is supposed to happen. If pregnancy doesn't happen, or technically if fertilization doesn't occur, the couple's luteum breaks down, giving causing progesterone levels to drop. All right, and remember I said progesterone is needed for maintaining the endometrium. So once the progesterone levels drop, it means that the woman is going to lose the endometrium. All right, so the shedding of the endometrium begins, and the woman will start to see another flow, which marks the beginning of another cycle. All right, so that is the menstrual cycle. So let's see, what is a healthy period? A healthy menstrual cycle is generally a regular and a predictable one. All right, so the average length of a cycle ranges between 25 and 35 days, and a menstrual period typically lasts from 3 to 7 days, as I mentioned earlier. The blood may vary in color from bright red at the beginning to dark brown towards the end of the cycle, and it is normal to experience some mild cramps, fatigue, mood changes. All right, and these ones are manageable with rest, hydration, and some over-the-counter pain reliefs. All right, so let's see. One thing is that consistency is a key indicator of a good menstrual health. All right, so you should be able to predict your menstrual cycle. All right, if you're able to keep this record, then you can tell if there's something going wrong. If you are someone, for example, if you are someone that has a typical menstrual cycle of 28 days, if it changes from 28 days to, let's say, 35 days, let's say 40 days, then you can tell that something is probably wrong with your menstrual cycle, right? And then you have to see a clinician for further investigations. So let's see, when menstrual health is not normal, what are some of the symptoms that you'll be seeing to tell you that menstrual cycle is not a normal one? First thing is very heavy bleeding or passing large clots. If you are bleeding heavily or passing large clots, it tells you there's probably a problem with your menstrual cycle. Second is severe cramps that affect your daily activity. If you're experiencing cramps such that you cannot even do anything at all, that suggests a possible irregularity. All right. Third thing is missed periods that are not due to pregnancy. So you miss your period, you check for pregnancy, and you're not pregnant. That shows that there's something wrong with your menstrual health. All right. The next point is extremely short or extremely long cycle. So if you are having a cycle of 15 days, which is very short, if you are having a cycle of, let's say, 40 days, 45 days, which is very long, it suggests a possible irregularity. All right. The next point is unusual vaginal odor or unusual vaginal discharges. Okay. The next thing is excessive facial hair or excessive facial acne or sudden weight gain. All right. Those things are pointers that should tell you that there's something wrong with your menstrual cycle. Right, so let's see how you can maintain a healthy menstrual cycle. First point of all is eating a balanced diet or a healthy diet. If you recall, I said that a woman tends to lose a lot of ions during the menstrual flow. All right, so it's important that you take healthy diet or balanced diet that are rich in iron so that it can replenish the ions that you lost. Some diets that can help you during these stages: leafy greens, beans, eggs, lean meats. All right, so those are some of the diet that you can be taking. Second point is exercise regularly. All right, make it a point to exercise regularly. All right, it helps your menstrual cycle. And three is track your cycle. You have to try and track your cycle. You can do so with just a calendar, or there are so many apps that can help you to track your menstrual cycle, because as I mentioned earlier, consistency is key when it comes to menstrual cycle. All right, your menstrual cycle has to be nearly consistent to tell you that you're having a good menstrual cycle. So if it is not consistent, it should tell you that probably there's something going wrong and you have to see a clinician. All right. Fourth thing is getting enough sleep. You know, hormone production and regulation occur during your sleep. So poor sleep habits can disrupt your menstrual rhythm and worsen premenstrual symptoms. All right. So it's important that you have enough sleep. during this time. So another point is manage your stress. All right, try and then manage your stress. If you are someone with chronic stress, try and manage your stress. The next point is avoid smoking and excessive alcohol. Right, so these substances can alter your hormones. All right, your hormone levels. It can alter your hormone levels, and so or your hormone metabolism. So you have to try and then reduce smoking and then alcoholism. All right. The next point is seek medical advice when needed. So when you see something irregular happen in your cycle, you need to see a clinician so that we can help you with an early diagnosis. All right. So menstrual health is a vital reflection of a woman's overall health and hormonal balance. So it is important that you understand your menstrual cycle, all right, so that you can recognize what is not normal for your body and then identify some early signs of imbalance or illness. So this brings us to today's video. If you find this useful, try to share with your friends and share to anyone that you can share to, so that we can reach as maximum number of people as possible. All right, so stay blessed and see you in the next episode. Bye.